The 2020 census is almost here. In fact, starting next March, the United States will once again attempt to count every person living in this country in order to determine the distribution of federal dollars and the number of seats each state is allocated in Congress. But following the last national census in 2010, when city leaders believed the count may have missed as many as 250,000 residents here in New York, public officials and local organizations have revved up their efforts to get all New Yorkers to participate in the 2020 count. The nonprofit Community Resource Exchange, or CRE, is one of the organizations helping other nonprofits educate their communities about next year's census. And joining us now to talk about those efforts, among other things, is the president and CEO of CRE, Katie Leonberger. Katie, welcome to the program.
So much for having me, Raphael.
Tell us a little bit about CRE. What do you do?
Sure. So CRE is a nonprofit consulting firm, and our whole mission is to support and strengthen other organizations who are working to reduce poverty and advance justice. And we do this by providing leadership and development, professional development training, strategic planning, consulting support, and coaching support for nonprofits so that they can be more effective in achieving their missions. And we do this with about 500 organizations each year, primarily nonprofits, but also foundations and government agencies.
Well, most experts agree that in the 2010 census, New York City was woefully undercounted. The number varies, but 250,000 is what most people cite. Why did that happen? And what's at stake? Why does it matter if we are undercounted?
Yeah. So let me start with the last question. It's incredibly important that we have an accurate count of every single New Yorker and every single American living in the country. And that is because, as you mentioned when we kicked this off, that the census really determines so many different things that affect how we live our lives as residents of New York City, New York State, and the country. Number one, it dictates political power. I mean, we actually in New York State right now stand to lose 2 congressional seats depending on how accurately we count everybody who lives here. And then number two, it determines how federal funds are spent. So that's about $650 billion that are on the line nationally. For New York City, that's $20 billion a year. And these are funds that go to support health care, Medicaid, Medicare, housing, education, you name it. Everything that touches our lives as residents here really is impacted by the census. And then, the third thing for what CRE also cares deeply about is that a lot of those federal dollars trickle down to state and local government and fund nonprofit services that also impact the way that we live. And so that is, for us, one of the core reasons that the census work really, really matters.
So tell us, what is CRE doing to help make sure that 220 doesn't end up like 210?
Yes, well, we're doing a lot of things. And the headline for us is that we are really honored to be one of 17 citywide partners working with the Mayor's Office of the Census and City Council to really help support what's called a real Get Out the Count effort to get every single New Yorker counted as part of the census. And so CRE's role in that as a trainer and consulting firm is to offer free trainings across the city, so in all 5 boroughs, that community-based organizations and nonprofits can attend to learn, number one, just basic facts around the census, why it's important and how it works, so that they can share that with their constituents and the communities they serve. But 2, we'll be working with them to think through how can they integrate census education and outreach into their day-to-day services. So, for example, if you run an after-school program at a couple of sites in Queens, by working with CRE in these trainings, you'll have both the information you need to share with your community that you serve, but also you can think through how can you integrate education and activities around the census to encourage folks to actually be counted and during the self-response period that will start in March as part of your day-to-day operations, right? Many nonprofits are not going to have tons of funds to hire a whole new department or let alone a single person to do that work, so they're going to have to integrate it into the work they already do.
So who can participate in this training that you're offering?
Anybody who is going to be involved with an organization doing any work that they want to do work related to the census. And I say any organization because it could be a formal 501c3, which means a nonprofit organization. It can also be a community-based organization, a faith-based group, a volunteer group of citizens who come together in a neighborhood who want to really get out the count. As long as it's a group of people who interact with the community, particularly those that are hard to count, we'll want to be able to support them in their efforts.
So it looks like the de Blasio administration is making a big push to get nonprofits, community organizations involved in this process. Is that unusual?
It is. It is in kind of the scope and the breadth of what they're doing and the amount of dollars that they're investing in this. Every local government across the country is doing something to help with the census. But here in New York City, between City Council and the Mayor's office, they've invested $40 million to ensure a complete and accurate count of all New York City residents. If you compare that to what the state is doing at $20 million, which isn't something to sneeze at, but $40 million is huge. And they've been really thoughtful in standing up a whole office around the census as part of the Mayor's office. And what's been very cool to see is how the City Council and the Mayor's office are collaborating to really pool resources and frankly, very interestingly and fantastic for nonprofits, partner with all of these other nonprofits so that we collectively are working to coordinate what we're doing around the census.
Why do nonprofits, community organizations, why do they have the better argument for why they should do it? I mean, what's the advantage of these community organizations being involved in this?
Thank you for asking. It's a great question. For us, but also luckily backed up by data, what we know is that nonprofits, particularly local community-based organizations that have been in communities for decades, if not 100 years, they are the most trusted resource in terms of influencing how folks think and actually even how they behave and whether or not they'll participate in the census.
So what do you think are the biggest challenges that nonprofits or anyone involved in this effort are going to experience? Well,
there's three big kind of I would say kind of just larger challenges with the census this year. Number one is that this is the first ever digital census. And that means that this is the first time that residents across the country can respond to the census online. And in fact, what it means is that rather than, in years past, you would literally get sent a physical form to fill out as a questionnaire for the census, that's not going to happen for everyone this year. What we're all going to get is postcards in the mail starting sometime in March that says, don't forget to fill out the census. Census Day is April 1st. And that the idea is most folks hopefully will be going online to fill out the census questionnaire or calling in to give their answers verbally. And it's only once folks have not responded that way that they'll receive a paper questionnaire, probably sometime in mid-April. So the fact that this is digital could be fantastic. You think ease of accessibility. But on the flip side, there's a real concern around people not having access to the internet. The good news is in New York City, the city government is partnering a lot with the public libraries in order so that New Yorkers can go into the libraries and respond to the census online there. And folks at the libraries will be trained to help you understand how to do that. But the other concern with a digital census is really digital security and confidentiality of the data. And there's already been conversations around how do you help people understand what is the right URL to use so they don't go and mistakenly enter their data on something that's not actually the census site. Sure. And then, of course, what happens to that data once it goes onto the internet?
Well, we know that the Trump administration tried hard to include the citizen question, which is that the census, they wanted the census to have a question, are you a citizen or not? They lost that battle. Yes. They took it all the way to the Supreme Court and lost that battle. Does that resolve the problem, or is there a lingering fear among the immigrants that this thing will creep up somehow? There's
a huge lingering fear, and that's actually one of the second issue I was going to talk about in terms of challenges for the census, is just huge levels of misinformation and disinformation. And in fact, there are many communities, particularly immigrant communities, where people don't fully believe that the citizenship question is no longer on the census form, which speaks to what all the rhetoric coming out of Washington has actually done in terms of impacting how people hear and process information. And that the fear is there, right? And now even if you do know that the question is not on there, there's still a huge amount of fear. Well, you're still asking for my name and my address and who lives in my house. Yeah. How do I know what you're going to do with that? Yeah. So that's a huge issue.
Last question. Are you optimistic that 2020 will be different than 2010?
I certainly hope so. I mean, I think we're moving in the right direction, but we also have a lot of work to do because there's also been so many, what feels sometimes like step backward because of what's been coming out of Washington, particularly with the citizenship question, the late start, et cetera. So we have our work cut out for us.
Okay. Well, Katie, thank you so much for joining us to talk about this.
Thanks for having me.